Carlos Sainz is the only non-Red Bull driver to win in the past 2 seasons, which is insane to think about. What's even more insane is that Ferrari chose Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc over him. After the Spaniard won the Australian Grand Prix, are the Scuderia regretting their decision? Let's find out in today's video. The Red Bull tyre, letting out a smoky scent, was stacked atop another tyre behind the Red Bull garage, its presence noticeable even amid the sophisticated ambiance of Albert Park's corporate hospitality. While its failure was disheartening for Max Verstappen's supporters, it sparked optimism among the wider Formula One community. During lap 3 of race 3 in the 2024 season, Red Bull's previously unshakable dominance came to an end. With Max Verstappen having secured victories in 9 consecutive races, his start from pole position hinted at a potential 10th win. Such a feat would have also marked his 3rd consecutive victory in 2024. In a matter of minutes, Verstappen radioed in to report that he had lost control of the car, accompanied by smoke emerging from the rear right side. Shortly after, he made a pit stop as a fire extinguisher was used to quell the flames. Detailing the series of events that led to his retirement from the race at Albert Park, Verstappen shared this with Sky Sports F1. "We could see some fire as soon as the lights went off. The right rear brake stuck on and the damage kept increasing. It was basically like driving with the handbrake on. It was really weird to drive in some corners. If a brake is stuck on, it doesn't help. You could see one brake, the right rear brake, stuck on. The team will investigate. Not something I've experienced before that I know of. It must have been a very long time ago." On the racetrack, Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez faced challenges against the Ferraris and McLarens. Perez started the race at a disadvantage, having received a 3-place grid penalty for impeding on Saturday. This pushed the Red Bull driver back to 6th on the starting grid. Despite this setback, he managed to pass Alonso to secure 5th place during the second stint of the race. Perez displayed impressive speed, but his team principal disclosed that he sustained damage to his RB20 while overtaking, which ultimately impacted his performance for the remainder of the race. I mean, he's probably not aware of it, but he picked up a bit of damage as soon as he passed or whilst he was passing Fernando, Horner told Sky Sports F1 after the race. "He lost a significant amount of downforce from the floor of the car, so we just need to get the car back to understand exactly what's caused that. As soon as you get that, then your tyre deg gets worse, and we were just not good at the end of the stints, which is a bit of an unusual trait for our cars, so we need to understand that. I have to congratulate Carlos Sainz today. I mean, after going through surgery, what a great performance by him and, of course, the Ferrari team today." Meanwhile, in the paddock, the press swarmed around Verstappen. In the garage, the pit crew brought out Verstappen's unused tyres, almost causing a mishap as one stack nearly toppled onto a cameraman due to the trolley catching on the grass. Throughout the weekend, controversy loomed over the team, particularly targeting the tarnished team principal, Christian Horner. The race ended under yellow flags due to a late incident involving George Russell. As a result, Mercedes failed to score any points, with Lewis Hamilton retiring early in the race. Hamilton had a challenging weekend, failing to make it into Q1 and starting outside the top 10 in his last race for Mercedes in Melbourne before his move to Ferrari next season. Interestingly, he appeared quite at ease riding on the back of a steward's motorcycle after his race-ending retirement. The motorcycle transported VIPs around the Albert Park infield before Hamilton switched to his scooter for the journey down the paddock. When Lewis Hamilton's decision to take Carlos Sainz's spot at Ferrari in 2025 was announced, it was widely seen as a strategic move. There has been a prevailing belief since Sainz joined Maranello that he is slightly behind his teammate Charles Leclerc. However, he has consistently outperformed the Monegasque driver, challenging the initial assumptions about their respective positions within the team. Since the announcement, Carlos Sainz has displayed exceptional determination and skill on the track, although it's worth noting that he has been in good form for quite some time. Even before the Melbourne race, and despite dealing with an appendix issue, Sainz held the distinction of being the most recent non-Red Bull driver to win a race. Remarkably, he remains the only driver outside of the Red Bull team to achieve a victory in the past 16 months. During qualifying, traditionally considered Charles Leclerc's strong suit, Sainz secured P2. While Max Verstappen's challenges may have facilitated the overtake, Sainz executed it smoothly and with relative ease. Carlos Sainz continued with the confident and composed driving style that has become characteristic of him, earning him the nickname Smooth Operator. Unlike in Singapore, where he tactically leveraged his opponents, in Melbourne such manoeuvres were unnecessary. He maintained a comfortable gap from Leclerc throughout the race, showcasing his ability to preserve his tyres longer than many other drivers on the grid. "It was a really good race. I felt really good out there," said Sainz. Of course, Matt, I'm a bit stiff, especially physically. It wasn't the easiest, but I was lucky that I was more or less on my own, and I could manage my pace, manage the tyres, manage everything. It wasn't the toughest race of all, but yeah, very happy, very proud of the team. I'm happy to be in a 1-2 with Charles here. It shows that hard work pays off. Life sometimes is crazy. What happened at beginning of year, then the podium in Bahrain, then the appendix, the comeback, the win. It's a roller coaster, but I loved it and I'm extremely happy. It's quite a remarkable performance from Carlos Sainz, especially considering that he is currently slated to exit the sport by December. This situation echoes Sergio Perez's experience in 2020, when Racing Point decided to replace him with Sebastian Vettel, leading Perez to secure a seat at Red Bull. Now the focus could shift to whether Sainz might be eyeing that coveted Red Bull seat for himself. Carlos Sainz, at 29 years old, is rapidly establishing himself as one of the most sought-after talents on the grid, with the potential to seamlessly slot into various constructors' teams. His skills would make him a valuable asset at Mercedes and Aston Martin, particularly if Fernando Alonso decides to go in a different direction. While there have been discussions about a potential move to Sauber, such a move at this stage wouldn't fully reflect Sainz's talent and recent stellar performances. "I don't feel underrated by people that know about the sport," Sainz said, "and other people that maybe don't have any insight as much about the sport. If they want to underrate me, I'm fine with that." Ferrari's approach to Carlos Sainz's situation raises questions, as it's uncommon for a team to willingly part with their top-performing driver. The widespread admiration for Lewis Hamilton and the apparent favouritism shown by Fred Vasseur towards the 7-time world champion over the years could understandably create friction for Sainz. The absence of a proper farewell in the team's announcement may indicate the level of appreciation Ferrari has for their most recent race winner. Carlos Sainz maintained a professional demeanour by saying all the right things, but his actions during the season opener clearly demonstrated his determination. Instead of seeking permission to overtake Leclerc, Sainz asserted himself on the track, seizing what he believed was rightfully his. Leclerc, who came in second behind Sainz, dismissed the idea that the Spaniard was underrated, stating that Sainz is one of the most highly regarded drivers in Formula One. "I'm not too worried about his future because I'm sure that many team principals are," he doesn't say for sure, they are speaking with him. The race in Saudi Arabia may have been a blip, but it's undeniable that aside from Verstappen, Carlos Sainz has started the season exceptionally well. While Ferrari may insist they are content with their choices and Lewis Hamilton could indeed excel, Sainz's impressive performance is becoming impossible to overlook at this moment. Christian Horner's recent comments have raised the possibility of an unexpected reunion between Red Bull and Australian Grand Prix winner Carlos Sainz. This speculation comes after Sainz's remarkable comeback from surgery in the third race of the Formula One season, where he ended Max Verstappen's 9-race winning streak. When questioned about the possibility of Red Bull re-signing Sainz, Horner responded by saying, "Based on a performance like that, you couldn't rule any possibility out. You've had a very fast unemployed driver win today." Red Bull senior advisor Helmut Marko has conveyed to Ferrari that the outcome of the Australian Grand Prix would have been completely different had Max Verstappen not faced retirement. Marko mentioned that Verstappen had informed him about not encountering any difficulties in keeping up with Sainz before the issue escalated to a terminal point, signalling an end to Red Bull's winning streak at the beginning of the F1 2024 season. In a conversation with Sky Gemini, Marko said, "I spoke to Max and he said that despite the problems, he kept up with Sainz's pace relatively easily. With Max in the race, the outcome would have been completely different." Verstappen disclosed that his right rear brake had been essentially stuck on from the start of the race, leading to the end of his streak of 43 consecutive race finishes. His last retirement occurred at Albert Park back in 2022. Marko mentioned that the exact cause of this brake failure remains unknown until further investigations are conducted. He also expressed relief that the issue was limited to the right rear brake catching fire and nothing more severe occurred. "We don't know exactly yet, but already on the lap when Sainz overtook him, the brake didn't release," said Marko in regards to Verstappen's RB20 brake issue. In addition, he got slightly sideways and Sainz overtook him as a result. As a result, the brake got completely stuck and we are very glad that not everything caught fire. We need to evaluate the exact cause. So, is Helmut Marko right? Did Carlos Sainz win the race fair and square? Or did he just get lucky? Tell us in the comments section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.